So today we will be looking at the concluding part. Yesterday we stopped at break tag, and this break tag I was able to show you where is applicable, how you can make use of it, and how you can get your tags used perfectly. So today we'll be looking at the centering content and some other tags so that we won't waste most of our time. We need to delve more in practical. I will only come to this side once in a while to pick some content to follow up the progression of the class. So most of the thing we'll be doing today will be working on this code base. And by God grace, by the end of today, we should be able to develop our complete web page and also link one page to another so that when you have the experience of linking one page to another, you can easily you can easily create more menus and link them together. So today we are looking at the centering content, and when we look at it, we use a tag called center. When you want to center a content in an HTML file, please kindly let me to move to folder. Okay, thank you. So when we make use of center tag, it's going to centralize the content that we are writing on. When you look at the example below here, we have center and the p tag is indicated between it. So now let's look at that here. Let's come to this. I want to center all these tags. I want them to be at the center. Remember, this is the file we used yesterday. So I'm putting the center here. Let me bring the close center down. That has to be before this. I don't know why it's showing this in red, but probably maybe the VS Code I'm making use of does not recognize this center tag. But let's see what will happen. Okay, let me run this. Good. Definitely, it only shows red, but it's working fine. Can you see that all those content are being displayed at the center of the body? So when you look at the page screen, you see that everything come into the center because we place it center. If I come back here and I move this one upward just to differentiate it, you'll see that this will not be centered with other ones. The other ones will be centered. Let me refresh. Can you see that? So we have the dog moving to the left hand side while the other content in the body tag are being centralized. So if you want to centralize your content, you can use center. Mind you, there are other ways you can centralize content inside the HTML tag. When we get to the CSS, you will understand more better and more ways you can use to centralize your content without any stress. But for now, we are dealing with purely HTML, and when you are using HTML, there is a way you can center your content without using the without CSS style, and you will still achieve what you want. So then we go to the next one, which is the horizontal line. The horizontal line is basically meant to be used to draw a straight line across the screen, and you can reduce it to the length you want. Either you want it to be short, long, medium, or anyhow you want it. You can reduce the sizes, but the best thing is the main purpose of the horizontal line is used to draw a straight line on the screen, and this straight line can be done with just a single tag. Mind you, break tag does not have an opening tag or closing tag. You just write your break BR and that's all. The same thing happens to the the horizontal line tag. We call it HR. You use the HR tag, and when you use HR, you put a slash in front of the R, which will make it to respond perfectly. So note this and don't make the mistakes. You put the HR, then a forward slash, then that will make it to display. Let's check that out before we move ahead. I want to underline, I want to create a line in between this content, between this dog and this what's the name, and the paragraph. And I will also create a line between the text here. So first let's try this. We have this HR, then save. When you save, refresh, you can see the straight line. You can use this line to create section yourself. If you don't want to use section, you can use the HR tag, which is the horizontal line, to create section, just to differentiate your heading from the menu, from the body, which is the main body where your information will be, and from the footer. You can use that. At the same time, if I want to create a line in between this text, now let me create a line here. I can just do this HR. Now let's see something. If I write ordinary HR, will it reflect? Let's see. You can see that it reflects. Now the secret, who can tell me the secret why the ordinary HR reflects and the normal HR also the HR with the slash symbol also reflects? Anybody? You don't need to raise up your hand, just turn on your mic, because I won't be able to switch up and down so that we won't have fluctuations. Can anybody? Okay, what I'm saying is, can anyone tell me the difference between this HR with a slash and HR without a slash? Coming to the display here, both of them shows on the screen. What happened? Why are they showing? One shouldn't show, one should show. Why? Why are the two showing? Okay, any other person? Any other person? Okay, okay, don't let us waste much of our time. In that case, when you look at the screen here, we have the first one with a slash, which is this one. It displays. The first HR with a slash is the HR that was introduced in the time of HTML 4.0. But as at the time of HTML 5.0, there is no slash in it. And that is why the browser recognizes the two. That is why the two is showing. So if you write HR with with forward slash, it will display. And if you write, hello, I can't hear you. Okay, okay. I said based on this HR, the first HR is is an horizontal line tag introduced during the time of HTML 4.0. And this HR tag without a slash is introduced during the time of HTML 5.0. So these two tags is valid when you are coding. If you write it this way, you are correct. If you write it this way, you are correct. It's now left for the browser to determine which of the HR is okay. So this browser recognize the two HR because this browser is also upgraded already to recognize HTML5 elements and tags. So thereafter, we go to the next one, which is am I still on the way? Okay. Yeah, we look at preserve formatting. When we talk about preserve formatting, it is sometimes used to write some information that you want to be displayed in your own way. When you look at it, say sometimes you want your text to follow the exact format of how it is written in the HTML document. In this case, you can use the pre-formatted tag, which is pre. Any text with the opening pre tag and the closing pre tag will preserve the formatting of the source document. So when you are making use of preserve format, that means you want to write something that you don't want the information to change at all. You want it to show the way you want it to be. For example now, for example, as I'm teaching you this coding and I want to pass some information through the HTML to everyone, if I write this function alone, if I write this function alone without putting it inside this pre tag, I am telling you, you will not see this function, and this is what I want you to see. So this function will be hidden somewhere else, you won't see it, because this function is more or less a JavaScript function. So it will be hidden, and this is what I want you to see in order for you to know what you want to write. So now, if you want this thing to display this way on the screen, you have to use a preserve formatting tag, which is pre. Now let's look at that. I will just copy this function. I don't want to stress that. Then let's go to the code. Inside this body tag, let me have the pre tag. Sorry. Okay. Then I will paste this. Now, you can't hear me. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, it's breaking. Okay, let me try to connect to another network. So, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now? I can hear you. I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Nice, thank you. So I just have to quickly switch my network. Sorry for the little interruption. So like I said when you are making use of the pre tag, that is the preserve tag, it is meant for you to display a content you want the way you want it to display. For example, this is a JavaScript function. If I should type this function only without this pre, let me comment this out, without this pre tag, you will see that we won't see anything displayed. Okay, okay, let me first of all show you this way. Okay, oh, it's show because I placed under the string, is showing this way. Okay, if the function was really uh inside the script, it's not going to display. But if you want it to display the same way, you can still use your pre-tag. I think these are the issue of um forgiven browser forgiven error. That's why this one is displaying this way. You can see, and if you look at it, you can see that it display on a straight line, which suppose not to be. This is the way we want to display. Definitely it's working. So this is the way we want to display, not on a straight line. But when I commented it out, it displayed on a straight line. So now let's try to see if it's going to display this way with the pre tag. And when we refresh, we have it displayed the normal way. Can you now see? So this is the function of the pre-tag. The pre-tag will allow the item inside it to display the way you want it to display. This is the way we want to display, and that is the way it's displaying. But when we don't have the pre-tag in it, when we don't have it inside the pre-tag, it will end up displaying on a straight line. And why it's showing is because it's inside the body tag. So it's going to display everything on a straight line. And this now is not showing the correct way of writing a JavaScript script tag. So that is that under the pre. You can use that to write some code that you want to teach people, and you want your code to be embedded inside the HTML code. Then we go to the non-breaking space. Now when we talk about non-breaking space, for example, you want to write a phrase, but you don't want the browser to split the content. Like now, here we have 12 angry men in quotes, and here we have 12 comma angry and men separated across two lines. So in that case, it says an example of these techniques appear in movie 12 Angry Men, isn't it? Now, in case where you do not want the client browser to break the text, you should use non-breaking space. Non-breaking space entity like and NBSP with a semicolon instead of a normal space. Remember yesterday I told you that you can write a code and you just put a space to have a space within it. I think when we were talking about the inline and the block content element. So but instead of you using space in between two tags, you can just use the non-breaking tags. That is you can just use this non-breaking tags, which is the and NBSP with a semicolon. So how do we use that? When you look at the example here, it says inside the title tag we have non-breaking space, and when you try it out we have this. Can you see 12 and N NBSP column angry NBSP column men. This will not allow it to break. Is that clear now? So let's quickly try that out. So in that case, let's use this one. I will just use let me just use up to this level. But that means we are going to get a lot of NBSP. Okay, we have this. Then we are going to have and NBSP semicolon. You can see when you look at the option it's giving me, is giving me the one I type, and it's also showing what and non-breaking space. That's the meaning of NBSP, non-breaking space. So we have the N standing for the non, the B standing for the breaking, and the SP standing for the space. So that's the meaning. Then you put a semicolon and the and sign. So we have this, we will also have it here. Sorry, where is the and sign again? Okay, I think I will just use 3. So when you look at this, I'm going to make sure there is no space between this. Let me get this off, and we have our closing tag P. Okay, let's see how this will display. Can you see now that we still have Shola is a here? Can you see it? Let me hide all this. Okay, Shola is a, that is our write up. And if you look at it, I close every one of them, no gap in between. So this tag NBSP semicolon is the one that creates this space that you are seeing in between Shola and Is, and in between Is and A. So that is the function of NBSP. Then we also look at the next one, which is I should be on full screen, but if I go on full screen I won't be able to switch here and there. So we have the HTML element. We've talked about each of these elements. They are still the one we are calling the tags. Can you hear me, everyone? Can you hear me? Okay, okay, okay. All right. Thank you very much. I want to confirm if I'm not speaking to myself. All right. So when we talk about the HTML element, is we are still talking about those tag that we use in writing our program, and most importantly, we are going to talk about the div. When you look at this, we have the paragraph, the H1, we have the div. So with this paragraph, H1 div, and some other element that doesn't have what tag. Here we are only talking about elements that has open tag and closing tag, and elements that doesn't have open and closing tags. So among the elements that have open and closing tag, we have the P tag, we have the heading tags, which is H1 to H6, we have the div, we have the span, we have the table, that is the table, the TR, the TD, the TH. When you get to table, I think one of the speakers will be talking about table. When you get to table, you will surely understand what I mean by the TH, the TR, the TD. All these are part of the table tags. More so, we have the span, and we have the italics, we have the underline, we have the bold. All these are example of tags that have open and closing elements. So any tag with open and close one are called oh, hope I haven't forgot that. Okay, all these are tags with open and closing elements here. That is, you have to open them and you close them. If you don't close them and you run your server, the web browser will display it, and that is when the browser forgiven error comes in. It will display it, but mind you, your code is not balanced, because later, in one way or the other, the browser will still tell you that something is wrong with your code. at the long run. Maybe you want to try and do some stunts and you end up doing that stunt and the stunt is just scattering. You will need to go back to your code, read through to know where your bug is. What do we mean by bug? So for me to clear the air, most people believe when they say bug that I have a bug, I am debugging. Many people believe it is a huge error or a serious problem in coding. No, it is not a serious problem. When we talk about bug is just a little error that you have committed. Maybe maybe you forget your tag, or your you forget a particular element when you are writing. All these are what we call bugs. So when you are trying to correct that bug is what we call debugging. So in that case, you don't need to disturb yourself. Then when we are talking about the other elements, all these other elements are elements that did not have a closing tag. Example include the img tag, which is used for images. We have the hr tag, we have the br tag, that is the break tag, and the horizontal tag. As you progress, you will always come in contact with other tags. Then we go to the nested element. Excuse me. The nested elements are elements that can be used inside another element. That's why we call them nested elements. It can be used inside another element. For example, the H1, sorry, the italic, that is the I tag, can be used inside another element. The underline tag can be used inside another element. Now let's look at that for example. The bold tag, the italic tag, the underline tag, the stroke, the strike tag, or strike through, anyone can be used inside other tags. We also have the monospaced font and the superscript tag. All these are tags that can be used inside other tag. That's why we call them nested tag. Sorry, I'm trying to connect the second system. I think this system battery is somehow running low. So let's quickly look at the nested tag. So inside this place, okay, let me use the nested tag here. I want to use I here for Shola to become italic. So I'm using the I tag here. It has the open and closing. Let me move Shola inside it. Then I'll be using the underline tag here for is, while I'll be using the bold tag for A. Okay, I'll be using the bold tag for A. All right. So this is what we mean by nested. We write this tag inside a P tag. We can write it alone to stand on its own, and we can also write it inside another tag. That is why we call them a nested tag. When we run this, you will see everything displayed. Look below here. Let me try to zoom in. Control plus, okay. Aha. I think you can see this, right? So when you look at Shola, Shola is written in italic. Thank you. Shola is written in italic. Is written with an underline, and this is written with tag. Mind you, I mean with bold, it's written boldly. That's because we use B. Mind you, you can use another tag inline which is not B, which is not bold. You understand? But you will still achieve your boldness. So we have tag like strong. We have tag like strong. We have tag like M. So this is strong. And let me change this one to M. The M stands for emphasize, while the strong stands for is more or less like bold. It stands for you want it to be more bolder. Can you see? So you can see that the M is acting more emphasis, more or less like italic, while the strong is still showing the A in bold letter. So that is the function of strong. So you can use anyone you like. If you like, use strong as your inline. If you like, use bold. Nobody will question you. If you like, use M. If you like, don't use M. Nobody will question you. Just know when and where you want to use those tags for you to achieve your aim. Then we go to the next one. I'm not going to try out other ones. You can try out that on your own. That is the monospace font, the subscript. The subscript is used to write superscripts and I mean that is superscript, sorry, is used to write superscript like raised to power. If you go to some website like Wikipedia, you see that you see a lettering and you will see some numbers at the top. Those numbers at the top are the one we call the superscript. I don't want to waste much of our time. I should have visited that site, but I'm considering this battery and trying to connect to the other system. Okay, now we have list. This is HTML list. What do we use list to do? We use list to itemize object or to itemize our content or list out our content, as the name implies, list. And when you are listing, we have two type of list. We have ordered list and unordered list. Now when we talk about list, what is the tag you use for list? The list tag, if you are using ordered list, you are going to use OL. Then inside that OL you will have LI. And if you are using unordered list, you will use UL. And inside that UL you will have LI. So the LI stands for list, but you cannot use that LI only without using without defining the tag that is going to follow. Meet.google.com. So okay, so let's quickly look at that. Let me use okay, I want to, instead of this, let me use this as my list. Copy. I will just say open tag UL. UL stands for unordered list. And when you have unordered list, that will give you a bullet point. And okay, let me first of all do that before I will say and. What should I do? Okay, let me say, let me use mathematical terms. Li. um have I forgotten Li time? Okay, that's not the right way to do it. Li times 4. Give me. Alright. So what I've done here is just that I want to create list of 4 items. So I don't want to be typing list and opening tag of list and closing it. So I just did what? I typed Li directly times 8 is going to give me the list. If I type UL times 8 or times 4, depend on the numbers you want to display, times 4 is going to give me UL in 4 places. Can you see? So that one is nothing, it's not a magic, it's just a normal ideology. So now I need to use this dog. Let me just paste, and so I have this, this, and this. So with this UL is going to give me unordered list. So when I refresh, we are going to see a list with a bullet point. A list with a bullet point. So that is unordered list. Then if I want to let this list to be in numbers, let me just change this to, alright. So I will just write OL Oh shit. OL, OL. So OL means ordered list. This one will give me numbering. It is numbering, just the way we know that when we do bulletin, we can use it the same way. Can you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It will be in order. So the more you add to it, the more it will be increasing the numbers. Then there is what we call attribute. Some of you might not like this bullet point, or you might not like your item to be 1, 2, 3. You want it to be ABC, or you want that ABC to be small letter ABC, or you want to be Roman figure, or you want to be capital letter ABC, or capital letters of Roman figures. It is very simple. And if you want to change this one to, you don't want it to be dot, you want it to be a square, you want it to be any images you want, there is a way to work around that, and that is done with the use of what? The type attribute. So when you come to the type attribute for unordered list, you can use square, you can use disk, you can use circle. So I don't want to waste our time. Let me just copy this so fast. And coming to the code, I want to change this. If you want to change this, this is an attribute I'm talking to you. We have type as an attribute, while the square inside it is the value of what you want to display. Now, this list item will be displayed in square. You will not see dotted circle anymore. Rather, you will see a square. Can you see now? So if you change it to circle, you will see that it will show as circle. Then the same thing happens to the ordered list. Okay. So let me quickly copy this meeting link code. Um VIV MYGGHHD. Okay. Then try. Okay. Uh yeah, I'm back. Thank you. So now when we look at the unordered list too, the unordered list also have its own attribute. So you can see that the type here, you can use 1, you can use the capital letter uppercase of the number you want, you can use the lowercase numeral, you can use the capital letter A, capital letter B. So I'm going to change this one. Let me give you the type, and I will change it to A. Mind you, there's another attribute we call start. And you see we have A, B, C, D here. If I want to change it to Roman figure, I will just go back and I will change it to Roman figure I. Once I change it to I, it's going to give me what I want. By refreshing, you see I. And when I change it to, when I now add another tag that starts, that's another attribute, and I put, let me say C. I want it to start from C, and this one is A. Okay, so in that case, when you refresh, it's going to start from C. Oh, sorry, I missed something. Let me check. The start, yes. Okay, I think start work for this, yes. All right. Type 1, start. Yeah, I'm correct. What letter am I using? A. Mm-hmm. Start, START. Yeah, I'm correct. It's right. So what's going on? It should start from C. Let me refresh again. Something is wrong somewhere. my browser is not forgiving something, and I can't hear you. No. Yes, that is the type. I want the type to be A. Yes. And the start, where I want it to start from, should be C. Do you get it now? So I want the lettering should start from C, D, E, F, and not A, B, C, D. So that is where the problem is coming from. And I don't un- what I've written is quite correct. It's okay, but I don't know where the error is coming from right now. So, but if you try it on your end, it should work out perfectly. So, um, all right. So let's go to the next phase. So those are the attributes. If I put one, okay, let me try the one. If the one will work fine, maybe the alphabet is somehow proving something else. So I'm starting from two. So let me see this. Okay, can you see this now? It start from two, three, four, five. Okay, I think my error is that I start from C. Let me start from B, and let's see. Okay. Oh, I think something is wrong with the alphabet. Uh, one of them did not want to accept. So, so I think you can see that one. Okay, let me start this from three, and we have one. So save. Yeah, you can see this is what I'm saying. So that is what we mean by start. And if you want it to end too, you can put uh your end position is going to work that way. Then we have some other tags such as the DL. The DL tag defines the start of the list. Is that clear now? The DL it defines the start of the list, while the DT is a term. The DD is also a term, so it defines the definition, and the DL defines the end of the list of the list. So when you look at it, it says HTML and HTML support a list style which is called definition list, where entries are linked like a dictionary or encyclopedia. So when you want to write your list like that of dictionary or like an encyclopedia, you don't need to use this ULOL. You will use the DL, and then after you've written the DL, you write the definition of your term, like the how you want the definition to be displayed. So then you close the term, and you write the meaning of the term, then you close it. So the DL is just to define. Let's look at that. Oh, what's wrong with this one? Why is it not opening? Um, Sorry, excuse me, please. Okay, so we want to define a term, so we say DL, and we close the tag. Can see that that's what this one display. The first one, you open the DL, it will close the DL. So you define the start and you define the end of it. Now, what term do you want to define? Okay, I want to define who is Ademola code. So I can just say DT, that is for this. That's the definition term, DT. Then I will write Ademola code. Then I will come down to give the meaning of Ademola code, which is DD. And I will write he is a he is a Python software developer. you know. Then what else? You state, that's you state the term, and that's all. The next thing, let's save, then we check. You can see this is my name here, but the definition of the name is written below it, which is who I am. So when you are working like an encyclopedia, maybe you want to look at the meaning of dog. When they click on that dog, then it will show it. You can give it a link. You can give it a link. You can give it an hypertext and everything. You can hide this one somewhere, and you just do this one here. When they click it, you bring out this one. So that logic of hiding it somewhere and everything is left to you to reason how you are going to do it, and you work it out. That is why you are called a software developer. You are meant to solve problems. So that is that angle. Then what is happening with this drive? Okay, well connected. Okay, the next one is the subscript. We talked about superscript the other time. This one is subscript. When you want to do an item like base 2, like base 10, and so on and so forth. But when you want to do something like degree, you use superscript. So the first one is soup, and let's say 30. No, I want to do degree, so let me just put 0 here, and I put Fatulo, and this one is giving me headache. P tag, I put capital, no? P tag, then let me move my soup inside it. Remember, this subscript is a nested element, so I can just say that 23 degree. So the same thing I will do for sub, that is subscript. So I will change this one to sub, and I will just say, let me say base 10, 23 base 10. Save, then you come here, refresh, you have your information. Can you see that? 23 degree. This O is showing bigger because if I change it to small letter O, it's going to give me the normal degree size. So when you refresh, you can see 20 degree, 23 base 10. Hello, I think somebody wants to talk. Can you go ahead? Okay. So I think that one is clear about the subscript and the superscript. You can now do raised to power, and you can do base 10. Then we have inserted and deleted. If you want to insert an item, for example, anything that appears within insert, which is ins, is displayed as that appears between the delete. That's a del. Okay, 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 noted. So let me quickly explain this part. So when you look at this, we have the inserted and the deleted. The inserted is used alongside the deleted. Meanwhile, when you use these two, there's no much difference. When you use inserted, it will insert a new value that you place inside the insert in your new text. But when you use delete, it will only cross that new word out. So for example, if you want to change a word, like what they did there, they change a word here. They want the word here. Now they said, I want to drink, delete cola, wine. So this delete cola will cross out this cola, and it will insert this wine. And that is what you are going to see here. Can you see that? The delete only cross it out while wine will be underlined as a new word to replace the kola. So instead of you deleting up and down, but it's not advisable to use this when you are developing an application. What is that one doing there when you don't need it anymore? You can remove it. So in that case, I think this is where we are going to drop the curtain on the curtain for today. And I think we still have about okay 31 slide, but we've covered 16 slide in total. So I think that is all we have for today. If time permit, tomorrow or coming sessions, we can continue from where we stop. And if there is no time, then probably I will drop a PDF file of this slide to the web team for them to share to everyone who attend the program. So in this regard, I say thank you very much for coming to this event, for listening, and also for learning through me. Like I do say, I am Onoyemi Akim. I'm a software developer, and I'm also known as Ademola Code Mr. Indelible. You can always connect me on my Twitter page and my LinkedIn page. Thank you, and have a wonderful good night rest. I will stop my presentation now. You're welcome.